YouTubers, Yamaya Cruz here with a quick video titled Left Hand Path Magic for the Mystic. So I've been reading the comments and people are asking me questions like, oh, can I do this? Is this right? Is this evil? Is this the left hand path? This is the right hand path? Am I supposed to be doing it this way? And, they're afraid of tinkering with different spirits, and they're afraid of doing something because they don't want to come off as being evil, or perhaps doing something that is not going to be conducive to their spiritual growth. And so in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over what the left hand path and right hand path and magic mean to the mystic, and how you can incorporate the mystic's understanding into your magic to get better results. So stay tuned. So the first thing that we have to understand with the mystic, particularly mystics, we mystics who actually practice under the law of one, we believe in oneness, is that we don't believe in dualities. We don't believe in dualities. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Yamaya Cruz, what are you talking about? That makes no sense. Well, we don't believe that something is black or white. We don't believe that something is night or day. We don't believe in something as being positive or negative. We don't believe in right and wrong. We believe in creative destruction. So instead of right or wrong, positive, negative, we believe in destruction. And so we wouldn't call the left-hand path something that's evil. We would call the left-hand path a destructive, formidable force. And so we as mystics who are practicing based on the theory of oneness believe that everything in our beautiful universe has a purpose, or else it wouldn't be here. And so that purpose may or may not suit you, but yet it has a purpose. So getting back to the whole concept of purposes, negative energy, destructive energy, that's what we call the left-hand path. And it's a natural force of nature. When you think about negative energy, think about aging. That negative energy causes you to age. Think about deterioration. Think about foods. If you leave fish or fruit or anything out too long without being refrigerated, it begins to deteriorate and it loses its value. It loses its nutritional substance. So everything goes through this process of creative destruction. It's constantly taking and giving, exchanging and giving, or destroying and creating, okay? It's a natural process of nature. So when people ask me these questions, I say there are no rules. There's just strategy, okay? And so what has happened? Whereas you have a lot of sorcerers who are using the left-hand path to do dark work, or to manifest things, and to, of course, become rich or steal people's blessings. It's something that's called blindness. People just aren't aware of nature and how the balance of nature works. And the reason why I said blindness is because there's this fantastic movie and book. The book, in my opinion, is better, by Jose Saramonga, and it's actually titled Blindness. And I'm not going to go into the book, but I want to kind of give you an understanding of how the story goes, so you can understand left hand and right hand magic a bit more closely, rather. And so in this book, it starts in the South American city. I want to say it's somewhere in Brazil, but I'm not quite sure. And this gentleman is driving and he goes blind. Okay, so he goes blind, he crashes into the next person. He's like, oh my goodness, I'm blind. So they help him get out of the car and they're escorting him to the hospital. And then he goes and he sits with the doctor, and the doctor's examining him. And then the doctor goes blind. Okay, and so they begin to realize that this whole blindness thing is an epidemic, and yes, it is contagious. And so the doctor goes home and he talks to his wife, and the wife then goes blind. All right. So to make a long story short, there's this huge epidemic that breaks out, and you have about 1/3 of the people in the town who actually go blind. They actually go blind. And so with that said, they have to be quarantined. And so they're quarantined, and things are going well. And then the next thing you know, the whole town is afflicted with this blindness disease. Okay. And so what happens? People start to fight for resources. They can't see each other, so they can't group together in gangs, but they group together in groups. And they group together in groups, and they're actually fighting each other blind for resources. And in the book, it gets very graphic because they're defecating in public places, and they're just beating each other up, and they're doing all types of things. Really, in the end, they're losing their own humanity because of the scarcity of resources. Okay? And so the one thing about this book that rings as true is that there's probably about 2 people in this whole town who can actually see. And the 2 people in the town who can see know where all the resources are. They have huge, huge, huge piles of resources, of food, of water, of everything you can possibly need. And they're allowing those people to fight amongst themselves. Okay? They're allowing those people to fight amongst themselves. And meanwhile, while they're fighting amongst themselves, they can see and they have access to all the resources. So what's the whole moral of this story? The moral of the story is that you need to stop thinking about magic in terms of black and white, left and right. It doesn't exist. It's something that's created to keep us divided. It's something that's created to keep us not being able to tap into our power and manifest. Okay? Everything works as a circle. It's all a process. All right? And so if you have something that's negative, say for example, if something bad happens to you, then something good has to happen to you as well. That's just how the nature works. There's a balance there. Okay? These things come together. All right? And so what has happened is that a lot of us are blinded. We're not aware. We're in this scarcity mindset. We're working with lower desires and lower energies. We're in this constant state of flight and self-preservation. And we are not aware of all the blessings. We're not aware of all the resources and the provisions. And so the people who do see, who may not be the best people of moral character, are there to take the resources. And they're going to let you fight and fight and fight and fight and fight for scraps. Okay? The left-hand path comes from this whole idea of people who want to cause divisions, people who want to cause this sense of scarcity, people who want to cause this sense of degradation, so to speak. So that way they can steal your energy and steal your resources and steal your blessings. Why they're able to get away with it is because we're blind. We don't see. We're not awakened. All right? How do we become awakened? Well, the mystic believes is that we have to get into the 4th dimension, and the 4th dimension is when we leave the dimensions of lower desires. We leave the dimensions of just thinking with our reptilian brain, and we start to open our hearts and lead with love. Lead with love, because you start leading with your mind has a whole bunch of those programs, and those programs tell you don't do that because that's wrong, and don't do this because that's right. But the programs are there for a reason. They're there to keep you blind in that scarcity mindset. And so when you start leading with your heart is always going to be connected to your soul, your higher self, and that's going to lead you to that point of abundance. The one thing that I learned when I first started doing this years ago, decades now, is that it's a lot of reprogramming. You really, really, really have to go through a process of unlearning, because the magical world isn't the same as the physical world. And you have to begin to think not with this, but with this. Okay? This is the power that's going to allow you to manifest what you need. All right? So for me, no left hand, no right hand. I have no rules. I just have strategy. I work based on the process of evolution. I work based on the procession of nature. And so what I do is I work with my heart, and I help people to become their best selves. If I do use destructive energy, I use it with the purpose of recreating and making that person more resilient, stronger, and better off, and of course more enlightened and evolved. or read this full article, you're more than welcome to read the article at clairvoyantmagic.com. Also, if you want more great videos on left hand, right hand magic, you can also subscribe to my channel. And if you want to get a free spell sent to you every day, along with other free goodies such as books, you can go to my website, clairvoyantmagic.com, and sign on to my email list. So I am certainly looking forward to putting out some more great videos. And with that said, I'm going to conclude this one. I'm Yamaya Cruz. Peace out.